Welcome, welcome. So, Winning Generation episode 6, how shame and embarrassment may stop our action and risk taking. And actually, we wanted to talk about action and risk taking. We talked about this in our last episode. So, Roger, Enya, and I, Jana, am here today. And now they came up with like shame and embarrassment and asked me to do that one, and I'm like, okay, no, we're not going to change that entirely. So we can combine those things. For me, everything is interconnected, and we can always find a way to weave it into the topic. So when we're not taking action, why don't we? Like, why do we hold back? Like, are we ashamed? Do we have fear that we're not worthy? Are we embarrassed to be seen as a loser, as a failure, or anything like that? And I want to ask Roger, looking back, being a singer, like a vocal coach in Hollywood and having really a successful business,
hmm
making millions, like, how has this been for you to be embarrassed by hiding yourself?
Because we're always moving into the unknown of who we are, and we never know what that's going to be. And it's perfect that we're talking about it today because I had to acknowledge that. Because when I was being a vocal coach, I couldn't understand why I knew people so well. I couldn't understand why I could become so great with coaching, and I didn't know music. I didn't know I didn't know how that was happening. And so that was the unknown of me. And tomorrow you have a choice. I'm saying that because that's the message that I received last year on February the 5th. And I had to admit that was a savant, that I was downloading information from the universe and I was downloading it in order. So I knew what was going on in our world, but I was too embarrassed to talk about it because it didn't make sense. And I hadn't seen it done before, and other people hadn't seen it done. I couldn't explain how I was healing. I couldn't explain why I was 75 years old and things were going in a different direction in my life than other places. And so I had to finally admit that. And I put up a message today on the blog that people will say is that you remained in fear. And that fear is us embracing the next version of who we're meant to become. And we're each meant to become something. And so now we're breaking through.
So let me know, like, how was this for you not taking action on what you like? I mean, you were writing all of those messages
Yes.
for ages. Like, I
Yes.
think, like, and even for me, like, and for many people, it might be hard to understand how someone can overlook what
Yes.
they are producing, what they're creating for such a long time. So go deeper into that and what it did with your body as well, the sickness, the illness, like what
Yes.
happens for us when we are not taking action.
I had to go through it. We accept different roles that we don't know. I'm going to just say this, we each accept something that we're meant to bring to the world, and it happens at a particular time when we accept it. And then we see the world changing, and then we get motivated to do that. And that's what we're going through now. That's why this period is so challenging for so many of us. And I obviously accepted a role where I would move through all these difficult, challenging, horrible things in my life and understanding that I was having them because I couldn't accept myself, because I couldn't go into that place. But then that's what I can give to others so they don't do that. And so that's how we will evolve in a greater way, and especially during this time. So it became very clear, and I had to um, I was ignoring it. The other day when we did the session on Sunday, and I went back and I found a an 11-minute channeling session I had done 2 years ago where it said all of this, but I had no memory of it because when I'm connected, I don't remember it. I'm connected to universal consciousness and it's not present for me. And so I have to go back and study it just like everybody else. That's what we do. We study
You bring
something.
something very important. You bring something very important to my mind right now because like my short-term memory is fucking bad at times. So I forget.
Yes, yes,
And I think it's kind of like that because I'm
yes.
tuning out. I'm leaving this place we call Earth to a certain degree, and kind of am in this state that just like everything is and is not as you are when this information comes through you.
Right.
It's like time doesn't really exist. On the long term, I won't forget anything. Like I
Mm.
really am. I have an extreme strong memory and remember kind of everything that has happened to me in my life
Right.
if I'm really going into what's present. But it always depends on when it comes present, depending on my actual state of frequency, and I always remember when I need it.
Hmm.
I won't remember it. It won't be present for me if I don't need it. So I think this is for us in many times. We don't have to overthink because the right answer for us is here to take action in the now. Because
Yes.
sometimes when we overthink, when we are thinking about things that are actually not relevant in this present moment in time, we may think, oh yeah, why am I not getting this information together right now? Why can't I remember?
Hmm.
It's probably because we don't need it in this present moment in time. You know, we got to learn to clear our space, to be extremely present within ourselves, within our hearts, so our heart can guide us, our intuition, our gut can guide us, you know, and be in harmony with our brain because most of the people operating on their brain, um, but we got to find the way in our heart and in our gut. So, mhm.
And I told Anya earlier, we were talking about our shame and embarrassment too. So we always need help in terms of moving because we all have it in different ways. I said mine was that I've done this incredible thing, but I couldn't get myself out there and talk to people or earn the money that it should have been bringing. So I said, I need her to help me do that. So we're going to collaborate. But that's all of us. And what we're meant to do now is to come together to come to a higher state of consciousness because we can feel what's happening in our world. We know something's going on, and it's for each of us to start to embrace who we're meant to become, and that's always something new.
So Roger, tell us, who are you?
I am this incredible channel who came to the world to bring healing, and that's what it was. And it was said to me
Mhm.
so long ago, but embracing that and being willing to be seen and talk about it was my own shame and my own embarrassment. And so it doesn't even matter what the thing is because we each have something of worth and value, but accepting it is a process that we have to move through in our own individual evolutionary path, whatever that is. And so we're all doing it now, though.
Thank you. Yeah. Anya.
Thank you. Yeah, this topic is very important and very powerful, especially for women, because in my journey, yeah, I processed a lot of shame and guilt and embarrassment in various ways. But I also know that sometimes this energy is not completely mine because, like the lineage, everything, what is happening, especially when you go deep, 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 deep in your subconscious, and in your ancestral lineage, on your healing path. Um, it's powerful. And I think this is like one of the main things that humanity is facing at the moment because people are hiding, but it's just fear of being embarrassed, fear of being excluded, fear of being persecuted, because we were as women, especially, in times of witches, we were persecuted, like horrible stuff, were done to us. And always, it was like, oh, she's crazy, she doesn't fit in, she's a freak. Yeah. And that's embarrassment, that's shame. So because you feel small, you feel little, you feel helpless. And for example, I can say that in this lifetime, my main my main pattern, like what I overcome, what I'm already aware of and I'm overcoming it, is connected to money. So shame about money, because everything what I did, everything what I, also invested, everything what already happened, it's like, oh my gosh, I should have a mansion now, I should have an empire now. But but no. And sometimes, like when I find myself in position that I need help, like even though it's like all the big things are happening, but then you are in position that you need help, it's very difficult to ask for help, because it's like this, I don't know, like this ancient patterns are really coming up. I cannot really explain it with words because it's not mental, and it's like, okay, I can shift the energy or whatever, but it's still very powerful. I always do it, yeah, even though I feel ashamed or I'm embarrassed or whatever.
Mm.
I don't care. I always do it. I always do it, and then in the end, I laugh about it. But I can feel that it's so deep. It's so deep, and the collective energy is infused with shame and guilt and fear and embarrassment. And I think it's really time. I know it's time that we
Yeah.
start dissolving this.
I'm going to bring Yana. I'm going to say something about that because Yana, um, he would probably have felt so odd in his life because he came with a greater awareness. And that's the first thing that I met when I met him. I said, how could this young guy have all of this wisdom? How could he be this aware? And I would always talk about it. And so, because I couldn't bring myself to own that kind of wisdom, and I was so much older. I'm like, how is he able to do that? But see, we will demonstrate something to each other. But then also, this particular time in our world is a great shift in wealth and income. And so those of us who have carried that old thing, we're not enough, we can't be seen, which suffer because that's energy again. The energy, money is just energy. And so that withholding that we might have had for generations, Anya, as you said, we've carried something on. This is the time that collectively we're meant to shift that, which is why we're seeing these power struggles going on. So we're bringing up all the correct stuff right now.
Yeah, and then we gotta learn to see to money is one thing,
Mhm.
but what does abundance really mean?
Right.
To prosper, what is it to prosper? Like what is it like to prosper? To feel like I'm prospering in life. Like it is really doing what we came here to do.
Mhm.
And for some it is to just live a simple life, and for some it is to live an extraordinary life, but a simple life can also be an extraordinary life. And it's really
Yeah.
for us to find out like what is the my inner desire that has no thought
Hmm.
to it, that has no, we don't really need to explain it to anyone, but it's something that we feel, it's something that we desire, it's something that moves us from within, that we are always contemplating also about. And this is very important for us to acknowledge. Action and risk taking, like, but also shame and embarrassment, right? Like for me, 2.5 years ago, when I came back to Germany from Australia, I had like this big shift behind me. So I just made so many changes and adjustments in my life about my character, how I want to present myself, the things that I'm talking about. And I went back into the place where I felt most ashamed and embarrassed because I haven't been able to communicate what I'm communicating today. And I'm in the place where I felt most ashamed and embarrassed today. And I've been here for the last 2 years, and so many things happened that I had to recalibrate. And it's important for us to know that some things need time and adjustment. So we need to adjust certain things in order for us to come from A to B. If I want to go from A to B, or I have a road from where I am to Munich as an example, I can't just go straight. I have to go around many corners until I'm there. If I would walk straight, I would walk against walls, against trees, and all those things, and this hurts. So it doesn't make any sense. But sometimes, like often, we always want to get it now. We want to be there now, and we rush and we overrush. And this is not always the right thing to be forceful. Because if we allow the force to move us, we know when to stop. We know when to take risks. We know when to, like, it's just an inner kind of sense of knowing. And I came back from Australia 2.5 years ago, and after 3.5 years being out of Germany. And I just like had so much pressure that I made myself, but I also felt from around me because everyone was looking at me. And I changed. And I've been told from family members, loved ones, that they think that it's not the right place for me. And they might be right. But So I haven't been ready to stay. I couldn't hold the energy, but I felt also I had to move again. So I booked a flight to Colorado. I had no money. I got connected to this one lady through John Donnelly. Went there for like a month, helped her to do her thing. Expanded a lot in my own masculine energy whilst I've been there to provide and to hold space for women, and like really started to questioning my own self, my own role in this entire strong construct more. But on the way to Colorado, on the Frankfurt airport, I met someone, and she's like a soul sister as well, from Germany. She's also been to Bali for a long time. She's been at Bali when I was at Bali, but we flew to the same destination in Colorado. And on the way, she just told me about this retreat that's going to happen in Nicaragua. And this entire month, Liz kind of didn't let me go because I had no idea where to go next from Colorado. I had no money. I had no other way that I could see than to somehow organize the money to go to Nicaragua to attend this retreat. And I watched the video of it was a retreat for women and for men. And I watched the men talking about it who organized it. And one of them is Matthias. And this Matthias just like they're from Germany. And Matthias just inspired me by his energy. I kind of felt like, okay, yo, I go there. He just like pulled me in with the energy that I could feel that he is transmitting. And the moment that I connected with him as well was very magical in its own way. I attended the retreat. I went back to Germany. Now it's like 2 years later, a little longer than that. And a few weeks ago, he sent me a message. If I know someone who would like to be a co-guardian of the retreat center that they're building in Nicaragua. So he asked me if I know someone or if I myself would be willing to do that. And I'm like, just my entire body felt like, okay, wow, there's a lot coming with that. And now I decided to do that and to go there and to, to be in Nicaragua. And I felt very home when I've been to this place, but I would never met this guy if I would not have taken the risk with no money going to Colorado without me ever knowing what will happen next. It was just me and my suitcase. Like my family were kind of judging me, like I had to let go of all of the shame of asking for more money to go to this retreat. So there was just so many things going on. My sister felt ashamed for me, and she sent me a message that she is shame, like that she is embarrassed and feels shame for me. Am I doing? So there were so many things going on. Roger, you remember this time, like we've been communicating, and like today I see the results. Today I see the fruit coming up from the seed that I planted 2.5 years ago. So guys, we gotta be, trust your gut. Fuck, trust your gut. It's so worth it. Like you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's around the corner.
every 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 life path is going to be different, and all of them have value. I screwed up so many things. I messed up so much throughout my life and did things that no one understood, but now I know that I have done that because other people don't have to, because I can guide them. I couldn't have given people what I have now unless I had gone through all of that. Everyone's not going to make that kind of choice. Everybody's not going to have that kind of life purpose, but there still has value in a different way. And I can point that out to them. I can guide them there simply because of what I've done. We have generations that we will move through, that we will understand things in a different way. And this is a
So right.
generation where many of us are meant to break old chains and patterns. And the only way we could do that was to have to, by going through or moving through whatever we did. And that's going to be really important, especially now in this time in our world. And that's why I've got to no longer hide what I have, because I don't want other people to do that.
And it's the same for me, like I was hiding in this last 2 years, kind of being back in Germany after this retreat
Mhm.
to go back into a job, to go back into society, and I had no idea. But what happened was so rewarding because I became financially stable,
Mhm.
what I haven't been before. I learned so much. I even became or got into a position of leading a spa and wellness area in a 4.5-star hotel with no school, with no studies or education in all of that, by simply being myself, showing up and getting the things done, taking risks, speaking my truth, giving my best every day, waking up and giving my best no matter what that is. And if I fail, I fail. But there's no shame around failure. So let's fucking take risks, guys. It's so worth it.
It definitely is. And if we think about shame, like state of feeling, like state of being or emotion, shame, I don't know, it's very simple, but at the same time, it's very complicated because it's like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Like, what are we afraid of? Yeah, I think it's because we are shrinking energetically, like when we are put in that kind of situation that we kind of, we are embarrassed. It's like we are shrinking. We are, we are going down, 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 and that's like completely unnatural for our soul. If you think about shame, yeah, you're not expanding when
It
you
is
when you
like,
feel
I mean,
embarrassed.
every one of us can feel that if we go into the feeling of shame and what we are ashamed of or
Yeah,
have been. Like, it is that, like, I want to hide, I turn away, I'm not
yeah,
able to face life head on or to show up. And yeah, we all went through this because we were, and
This
I think this is part of the reason, one moment, is because we've not been told as children to be ourselves.
this is so perfect. I'm going to read a message. I'm going to read a Wilhelm message because you all said the correct words. So this is going to make sense for anyone who is listening. Guilt, shame, and embarrassment can be helpful. You came into the world to evolve and become more, and at times to accomplish your task, you will have momentary experiences of those states. They are meant to awaken you to a part of yourself you have denied, overlooked, or believe you don't possess. Much of the shame you brought with you, as have all beings, but it will be specific to your physical life experience. When you seek to know why you feel shame, you might have difficulty identifying the cause. Still, during this time in your world, you will find it generational, and you want to move beyond those limitations, which you can only achieve when you feel them emotionally, mentally, and somehow physically. It goes on, but that was a message from May of
chills.
2023.
Yeah, chills. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and like, I
Mm,
mean, like, if we learn to use it, if we learn to alchemize it, like, we can all of those feelings. Same with pain. I think
Mhm.
this is also why there is so much insane stuff in the internet with where people just find pleasure in their pain. Um, it's like, if we learn to feel the shame and we just take it in and we see what it really means, then we
Mhm.
learn to step up. If we learn to integrate the feelings, because it's teaching us, it helps us to expand, to if we learn to utilize it. But because we shy away and we turn away and
Mhm.
we try to run away from it, and most of the people run away, so or they're always running, 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 but they don't know where to go to really, or what they're running for, because they've never really faced it. But if
yeah.
we take the time to face it and learn to be still in silence, this is also why, like, I feel the Silent Power Collective, for me, what I want to bring to the world, like, it's the silent power that's within all of us that knows the truth. So every one of us has this innate inner wisdom that wants to come out, that wants to be shared. And to find that power is so freeing because it's within all of us, and it really is. If you follow that calling, it'll always guide us towards where you have to be, no matter if your loved ones are not supporting you in this very moment. They may will understand later in your life, and believe me, they will. I, I can see it in my own family. They've
I,
not been really able to support me because they couldn't understand, but I can't expect other people to understand me. I gotta understand myself first.
Okay, I had to let you say
So
all of that because this is the next part of the message. This is perfect. The guilt you might experience is due to you recognizing your reluctance to accept and love every aspect of yourself and your journey. The embarrassment you might feel indicates you are still too concerned with the opinions of others, and that has placed a stranglehold on your life and who you could become. When you become willing to embrace them all, as they are when they arise at that moment, raise your emotional vibration until they pass. You will find you will have made a crucial step in your ascension journey. That's what we're doing, and it's day by day, moment by moment. And so all of those things, like you said, for all of us, is what we move through.
Anya, you are mute. I muted you because of the stuff.
You are muting me. um, okay, what do you, when you feel shame or embarrassment, in which part of the body do you feel it? For example, Yarna and Roger. Both.
It's going to be different for everyone, but when you stop and ask that question, you'll find it. You'll see where it
Mm.
is, because it'll always point back to some aspect of your life, of your journey, that you've been withholding, not accepting, or didn't want to explore. And Yarna, what Yarna brought up is about looking at that. Most of us don't want to see that shadow side. We don't want to go there because it's embedded and we don't know what it is. But then you find that once you embrace it, as the message was saying, you have this relief. Like, okay, didn't kill me. I'm not dead. So it was something that's bringing me to a greater sense of awareness of who I am. That's all.
Yeah, and when it's repeating,
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of people, they are aware of it. They are aware. We are all aware of, most of us are aware of our patterns,
Hmm.
but still, like, they are repeating because we are obviously on subconscious level, or, like, our path is
Think about
really
what you're saying.
organized this
I
way that
must I
we have
must
to.
I must kind of disagree. I think like depending on who you're talking about, like that when you say most of us are aware, maybe the people that you hang around with or that you talk with, but like if I look at humanity, the most people are not aware. Or at least maybe there's a part of them that is aware, as for all of us. But if we would all be aware, we wouldn't see the world as it is.
We become
So
accustomed to where we are, what we have experienced. And sometimes we could have experienced, and I talked about this with a while ago, with women in particular who had let's think about an abused woman, and we question, why are they staying in that relationship? Well, they've known that. Getting out of it means you have to go into the unknown and risk something. And sometimes the unknown is scarier than being in misery. That's a human thing, and that's what we're all moving through.
it's the like people want to stay comfortable. And the world, how it is right now, is designed to keep us comfortable. We have everything that we need. We can order it, like it's coming right in front of our house, so we're too comfortable. But like we like I think I said it last time, I'm not sure. God is pressure.
Yeah.
God is pressure. So we gotta learn to deal with pressure.
Hmm.
And there's no way around that. It's the same with the shame. We feel pressured by the shame. We feel pressured by the people, by the views, by the looks, by whatever, by expectations. We feel pressured by that. But if we allow it in, it will form us. It'll move us to something greater. And this is why we have to come together and start to take action.
Hmm.
Every one of us for themselves, every
Right.
single day. Again and again and again and again until it's done. So it's
And
like and the ending like in it's a very interesting thing, like if we look at human evolution, what the end will be, maybe a thing we will talk about in some episode to get the setting right and to feel into the future of humanity, which is a very very important thing that we have to learn or that we can start seeing, because it's already emergent. I can see it.
let's do it for the next one. That'll be our. Let's do that topic for next time.
Next time we will talk about something that's going on with politics, I think. We will go
that'll,
into a little different direction with
that'll be the
Brian.
future.
But after that, when we three are back, or maybe even the future human, I would like to have like Jenna on the call. Her album, The End, like I'm listening to her song like again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And I told her that I have never listened to someone expressing Christ consciousness like that before in physical form, and I'm deeply honored for that because like this is moving me because
I'm
the
ready.
end is love. Where
Yeah.
we're going to is love. There's no there every doing will stop if we're back in love.
Mm,
So this is also why action taking, risk taking, all of those things, we can leave all of that behind, to be honest. But like we are here to experience the journey from like forgetting who we are into, knowing who we are. And we became more dense over the last thousands and thousands of years or million of years, who knows, as human beings. But we are becoming lighter and lighter again, and we are dissolving basically back into that from where we came from. And this is all happening in consciousness. But if
exactly.
we learn to access these innate gifts of ourselves, we will go there. We will become graceful again. We will live in truth. We will transmit truth. And there's nothing that we can mentally get a hold on, but we sense it and we feel it inside every cell of our being. And this is when the real life begins again in the silence. you know,
Great.
it all comes back to oneness.
All righty. Well, thank you. This was great today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. So, guys, take the step. If you feel called to connect with Roger, rogerburnley.com, his YouTube, there are lots of interesting, amazing videos or channelings from Wilhelm on it. Anya's LinkedIn is connected here as well. She's got some amazing activations that you can look into too. And for me, it is the school community, Silent Power Collective. If you would like to join the community, you can choose if you want to, gift something to the mission. I'm not asking for money. You will receive the same value. I'm here for humanity. I'm giving my service to humanity. I'm organizing a non-for-profit organization because I'm not here to get anything for myself, for my egoic needs. I'm offering my life for humanity and the evolution of consciousness. So if you feel like you want to give me any money, I'd be infinitely grateful for that. If you don't, I'm infinitely grateful for the love and support that you give me on your own way, in your own way. There is no need, there is no pressure rather than God's pressure. So do the right thing that's right for you and don't listen to what anyone else is saying rather than what feels intuitively right for you, not just today, also tomorrow and also in 100 years. So if you feel this is the right thing now and it's not the right thing anymore in 100 years, or it doesn't feel right anymore in 100 years, it might not be the right thing. The real truth, the real love always stays the same, and all else is an illusion. Stay the fuck at home. I think COVID shows us this. And home is where your heart is. Stay at home, spend time with your loved ones, learn to deal with the uncomfortable feelings. This is really what I can tell you, because life is not being won, or we're not winning anything if we stay comfortable. We have to learn to become comfortable in the uncomfortable. So spend time with us, connect with us on our links that we provided, or just join us in the next episode again and again and again and again, because we are the winning generation. It's you, it's us, and it's we. So yeah, let's do it for humanity.
Mic drop.
Great.
Peace, guys. All right, let's end the stream. See you in the next one.